Okay, good morning. As normal, I'm approaching the traffic lights. As you probably can see, I'm quite away from the traffic lights, and what I do is I'll, when they turn green, I'll let you know. I expect to get through from here, but also shows how slow traffic pulls away. Again, this goes back to green. So that's green. It shows how slow it takes, how much more time you've got to prepare if you're filtering and you're not filtering right to the front. I expect to get through the traffic lights even though they've turned green and I'm waiting. Not pedaling, just rolling. Rolling. Central. Going to indicate left, like the car in front. Gently pedaling, keeping up the traffic. No problem at all. 3 days ago I made a video, and started that video I talked about Silvio and yet more pointless filtering, overtaking a couple of cars. There's probably about 7, 8, maybe 10 cars in front of me there, if not more, and there was no point in me filtering. I knew I'd go through those lights, and by not filtering I then don't have vehicles overtaking me. Now, vehicles should overtake you safely, sensibly, give you space, but they don't. And this is the thing I'm trying to explain. I know they don't. I know that there will always be someone who doesn't. Right or wrong, I know it's wrong, but right or wrong, that will happen. So, as a sensible and safe cyclist, I wait. Now, if I had to wait so far back I wouldn't get through, I wouldn't. I'd filter to a point where I can get through the lights. I mean, that would be totally pointless. So before anybody says, you know, what you're going to do, just sit in the traffic, I'm just going to let this van pull out. And before anybody says it's, you know, it's pointless, you won't get anywhere. I will, because I will filter to a safe point, but I won't filter right to the front. Totally pointless. Morning. Oh look, I've shared the road. And I got through the traffic lights. Just let this guy turn. And then I'm on my way. So going back to the conversation, is it's pointless to filter right to the front. Not only is it pointless, all you're doing is potentially putting yourself in front of people who, if it's relatively quiet, they're going to overtake you again. In really busy traffic, a bit different, but the videos I've been talking to Silvio about is not that situation. When they pull away, there is time for vehicles to overtake. If there wasn't, they wouldn't be overtaking. So the point is, if you filter right to the front, A, you're likely to arrive there as the lights change, as Silvio did as he jumped the traffic lights. B, you put yourself in more conflict with vehicles, other vehicles. And C, you're likely to get overtaken. You know, absolutely pointless. Especially when, in the last 2 videos, Silvio's filtered past 2 vehicles both times, I believe. 2 vehicles. Totally pointless, Sil. Whoa, what's the pigeon? I don't even duck then. Totally pointless to filter past a couple of stationary vehicles to put yourself in the line of fire. Now, for those who say passing the stop line, well, so what? It's only a couple of feet. Well, that's a couple of feet closer to a potential collision. You wouldn't say the same about a car who's a couple of feet away from a red light that has just changed and then continues. You wouldn't say the same, but it has the same thing. By being 2 foot away, 2 foot the wrong side, that puts you 2 foot closer to a potential collision. So yes, it does make a difference, because you add your 2 feet to their 2 feet and suddenly that's 4 feet. And again, argue all you want that the other person jumped the lights. If you're jumping the lights yourself and putting yourself in danger, that's on you, mate. So yeah, my advice, and it is advice, and Silvio doesn't have to listen to my advice. He can carry on as he wishes, cycling past a couple of cars just to get in front with his must get in front attitude, or he can follow my advice, just conscious of car overtaking, my advice, which is don't overtake a couple of cars. It's pointless. All it does is put you as cannon fodder, and as your last 2 videos have proven, can lead to conflict. Now, whether those cars are rightly or wrongly, as I said, they are wrongly acting dangerously around you, how do you know which person's going to act sensibly? I don't. I can't look at any vehicle and judge one person by the type of vehicle, the age of the vehicle, the sex, anything. Can't look at a car and tell how they're going to drive. So that's down to the personal individual. So to me, it's stupid to pointlessly filter past a couple of cars, especially when it's in Silver's last one, to actually illegally jump the lights. The argument that, well, he has to do that. I mean, has to, does he? Has to? I mean, nobody's guns ahead forcing him to, are they? As my start of this video showed, I didn't have to filter to the front of anywhere. I waited in a safe place, knowing the lights, knowing I will get through on that phase, because it's a very generous phase for traffic travelling along that road. I know I'd get through the traffic lights. So why, for the sake of 3-4 seconds, am I going to waste or risk filtering down? Pointless, absolutely pointless. And again, some may argue that in his latest video, the lorry gets held in traffic, making it pointless. Well, it also shows Silvio's pointlessness, doesn't it? Because Silvio saved 2 seconds, 1 second, whatever it is, by starting in front of the lorry. He then lost those seconds by stopping to argue. He lost even more seconds and time getting his cameras ready. I know myself, I've lost, the most amount of time I've lost is not by being courteous to other road users, but getting my cameras ready. And you argue that the lorry got caught in traffic. Silvio got stopped at the next set of lights himself, making his own must get in front manoeuvre pointless. Absolutely pointless. So the reason I post and the reason I point out what the cyclist could do better rather than the driver is because most of the people watching the videos of cyclists are cyclists. And if as a cyclist you can keep yourself safer, you know you can do that, whereas you can't rely on the actions of a complete stranger. Like, I can't rely on that little blue car behind to act sensibly. I can act on what I do, so I've got a mirror and I keep an eye on them. I'm also keeping in a good secondary position because I have been overtaken dangerously along here before. but I can't control them. Fortunately, they're riding really well. Of course, there is another reason why Silvio may choose not to follow my advice, and that's through popularity, through wanting subscriptions, likes. Just going to ease off as they overtake towards the corner, but still a good overtake. They may want likes, potentially building his channel, building financial revenue to his channel. So I'm always skeptical when we don't actually have true discussions about safety. I mean, I'm going to chuck a gauntlet out there for Sil. You know, Sil, commentate on your video as you're riding and do a whole video like I do. Do a whole video of your whole ride and commentate on what you do to keep yourself safe. Because often I don't see you doing anything to keep yourself safe. So yeah, there you go. Sil, if anybody watches this, that was a bad overtake, but am I shouting? No, just watching and being aware. So yeah, gauntlet for you, Silvio. Video your whole ride, start to finish. Narrate what you're doing to stay safe, how you respond to dangerous drivers, how you're being proactive about your safety. I'd like to see you actually try and promote your own safety. So yeah, that's the gauntlet. If you wish to pick it up, I don't think you will.